Hello guys and welcome to the channel. This is Roll. In today's video I want to talk about the Warclaw, the changes that came for it in World vs World and how is reintroduced in a new form in PvE. Did it kill other mounts? Is it not efficient or not good as we expected? How its role, what even changed? We'll be talking about everything in detail. Starting with the World vs World because it's very short and convenient, but you're gonna have timestamps so you can skip to PvE if you don't care. So Warclaw and World vs World still have 2 stamina bars. You will find that your points from World vs World have been resetted and you need to reboot your everything here. If you put 1 here you would unlock it already even in PvE, but you still unlock the entire mastery system. But if you unlock it from World vs World, 1 point here you will get it. There's still a collection to unlock it from World vs World. If you do it you will get 250 skirmishing tickets and you will get one of the skins, the weapon skins that they used to give us in the beta. Well, I don't have the skin on me right now, but you get it. It's technological ones. So after that, you will unlock the rest of the skills. You unlock the Warclaw, and then you unlock the second skill, which this one, it allows you to find enemies around you in a radius of 5,000, and also it will bring with a red circle any damaged wall or gate around you, whether it's yours or your allies or your enemies. And third one will give you the chain ball skill, and it now can ball on gates and walls, and it gives a stack of increasing damage by 0.5% that it can keep resetting every time you use it. And a single player will have 2 stacks. You can put up to 3 players on a gate or a wall, which means about 3% increase. It do a little bit of damage, and it will consume 1 supply every time you use it. The third one is an ammunition skill, Lance. It's unblockable from 1.5k range, and it will dismount other players. And the dash is now actually use the dodge skill instead of the space bar, which is a problem we're gonna discuss later in the video. The engagement skill, it's not a CC, it's a dismount. In 360 radius will hit 1 target in enemies and do 20% increased damage if the enemy is downed. And if we go here, I've already damaged this wall and gate. And if we use the sniff, as you can see, it brings them red, and it even do a sound to your ear so you can actually hear it. So that is simply the World vs World Warclaw. It is now better. What changed for it, basically, it now can see the gates and walls. That is something good. It can actually damage walls. It used to damage gates only, and now it only does this debuff to encourage people to actually use it. Those are basically the changes you have for it. Now let's talk about PvE stuff. Now in PvE it's a bit different, since we're going to be comparing it to other mounts and other things, because there is options. However, in World vs World we can only use Warclaw, so it's either getting good or worse, and that's it. And technically it's obviously getting better. Now for PvE, if you have already used the Warclaw in the expansion, I'm pretty sure most of you would already notice it's actually faster than any mount you have run with without a skill. Like the movement speed of it, the running speed seemed faster than anything. I already felt it the moment I used it. And I have tested it. The idea was to put my back into a specific wall, like exactly like that. Summon it and put my back to a wall and run with no skills in a straight line until my head hit a wall. And test the time, put it to test with a stopwatch. And every time I was able to get the Warclaw to be faster than both the Jackal and the Raptor, if you're not using any skills. So the movement speed is actually the fastest right now in the game. It used to be the Jackal, but it's now the Warclaw. And if we go to the wiki, you can see the tested speeds that people put to the wiki, thanks to their effort. We have the Raptor without a skill, no ability, as you can see here, and the Jackal here, and you can see all the other speeds. And the fastest one was the Jackal. Once you apply the use of ability, you find that others will significantly increase, ignoring the beetle, which have a specific situation when you can cut a huge distance. We really interested in comparing the mounts that actually used in normal movement. When you want to cut a point from A to B, going to trying to catch to a meta, and there is no area when you can actually dash with the beetle, like you're in a map when you can't use it efficiently, just moving from a camp to another or stuff like that, like in Drizzlewood or whatever. You don't really use something like that. You either fly if you can or must, or use something that can move faster if you can move on land. So it's Raptor, Jackal, and the Warclaw, even in races. So let's compare the mounts. Starting with Raptor. Raptor truly shine if you're moving from a place that's up to a place that's actually down. Because, as you can see, I can even fall to the ground. I had to stop it here. Because this is where it shine, it's move into one arc. But if you move the other way around from a place that's down to a place that's up, you will see it like hits a brick, because it can land here. It gives you a great control over this, because if I go for a fall jump, as you can see, I will fall down. But I don't have to, because I have a bit of control. I can ball back, which no other mounts truly have it. Like I can jump here, but I can stop mid-movement to cut it a bit slow, or a bit small in the movement. However, it has some downside, because if you're moving like that, it's a huge arc that you can change direction. As you can see, when I'm trying to move, it moves in a huge distance. If you move the camera a bit fast, you can even get this smaller, which is a trick you can use with any mount. It really shines also when you cut small distance, because you can keep using your endurance and then fill it again and then again. You have to wait on the endurance bar to actually fill, or you get this what we call half jumps. Remember, it's a mount when you can ball your bunches, and you can see like that, it doesn't go for the full jump. But as you can see, it uses the endurance for the full cast of time. So the more you cast, or as long as you're casting this jump, the endurance keep going down with it. It doesn't consume a bar and then use it. It go with the amount of the endurance you're wasting. Like if I use a half a jump, I will use only some of the endurance bar and not all of it. So it offers some control, but also it boils down on your mount. Since comparing to Jackal and the Warclaw, both of them replenishing endurance while actually casting their movement skill. They both have 3 instead of 2. They cast the full endurance bar, and that's why it starts resetting even mid the animation, while they already moving. So in smaller distance, when you can use both your endurance bar, use Bond of Vigor, and use the amount of time it gives you endurance bar immediately, you take the full bar and use it, take the full bar and use it, it will be the fastest in this very short distance. But after you finish all your endurance sources, actually the Raptor becomes the slowest from the 3. And this idea of hitting the brakes of everything that move and can't turn as easily make it in realistic situations quite limited. It can't go up terrain very well, and the terrain in Guild Wars is not kind of flat like this city I'm standing in. There is hills and rocks on the ground and things you need to go up from, and you're limited to this jump, and every other thing you do will be hindered down. Jackal, however, is a bit different. It's very special, and it was the main movement mount for me and for many players who really value the speed and control it can offer. So Jackal use a teleportation skill and 3 bars, and as you can see, while I'm already mid the animation, I already consume the bar and start refilling even while casting the animation itself. It is the best in turning, because you can actually move backward even so you cast it forward. Just switch a camera, and mid the animation itself, while it actually teleporting, it will change direction. No spinning around like that, nothing. You just cast it and immediately change direction back and forth. And because it is a teleportation, it doesn't care for the terrain like that. It will just go across it completely normally. It doesn't even care to things that stop you in the way, because it's like it get above it. So no rock will make you stop while walking normally like that or anything. And unlike the Raptor, it can offer control mid-air. So if I'm here at air, I can still teleport forward and direct myself. However, if I am on the Raptor, for example, and I'm already at air, there's nothing I can do. I just have to take the fallen damage, and that's it. And that's why it was the optimal mount to ride, not the Raptor. And the Raptor had only the perfect use if you have a small area, which very clear, nothing will take your speed, and you just want to cut it as fast as possible with total control, so you can't even use the beetle. It was my choice. Other than that, I would always use the Jackal. Now let's go with the Warclaw. The Warclaw, we already established that it is the fastest, even if it was quite a small thing, but it is the fastest. It has 3 endurance bar like the Jackal. It uses the evade button to actually use them, and as you can see, while you use them, it's refilling while you're still moving, just like the Jackal. It's not a teleportation, which means it will turn around like the Raptor, even so a little bit better because how short is the jump, so you already have a tiny bit more control. You don't have to pull back in the movement, it's full movement and you can still turn, but it loses against the Jackal for that. Again, for elevation, it have both the advantage and disadvantage. So if you use it, you can still hit things like that, which you can get through. As you can see, I hit this thing and it hold me back a bit. But you can just jump a little bit above it and you get access to the air jump mastery, which you can dash forward and you can simply climb up things without even them stopping you. This is not as great in moving in different terrain like the Jackal. However, if you really get good into using it, it will be far superior. Why? Because something like that is smaller than or higher than a jump of amount. While if you use the air jump, as you can see, you can simply climb up it and even higher than it. While if you're in a Jackal, for example, or any other mount that doesn't fly or jump like Springer or Skyscale, you are limited. You will keep hitting it and there's no way to get above it unless you get above something that smaller than the jump of amount and then climb on the other thing. So with a normal terrain of a little bit of rocks, trees, stumps, stuff like that, you feel stuck and have to spin around things, which what led a lot of people, me included, to count solely on sky scale whenever you feel the terrain will become annoying. So you always move with it. If it's slower, it doesn't matter, you will just be able to climb everything. While now you don't have to for multiple reasons, and this is one of them. So this is another advantage for the Warclaw, is basically the air jump. How the air jump work, as you can see, it doesn't move you in place, it always moves you forward. So if you can look from the side, you will see I'm moving forward with this jump. But it uses endurance as the normal dash forward, which will steal some endurance from this one for shorter mobility like the jump, but it still will navigate the terrain very well when you need it, while other mounts can't at all. For specific areas, it can find chests, and there is some mechanics in events when you use a lance to pull things, or trees, or stuff like that, but this is mount exclusive, like Portal for Jackal, for example, so we can ignore those stuff. The only advantage it really has is the CC from the chain ball, which can be used in anything, to my understanding, comparing to the Jackal, who doesn't have any CC and have a simple engage skill here. However, the Jackal had at least the barrier, as you can see, and the Raptor had the CC, but it already have too many downsides to it, so I guess this part is depending on how you look at it. If you want the CC and the better mobility, then this one clearly win, at least, and you can repeatedly using it, so it's not a single CC to engage and that's it. No, you can repeatedly keep using it for some time before you even go down, because it's not an engagement skill. Now, we explained the speed, we explained the movement skill, we explained the air jump. Let's go for other advantages. Because of the air jump, just like the Jackal, you can move mid-air and control. Not only that, you can use even the dash forward, just like that, and it will work like air jump, as you can see, for even higher distances. So, unlike the Raptor, it can control itself, this thing can control, and the longer it's coming from a place that's very high, it can keep itself in air for a very long time, even crossing a little bit higher stuff. So if you're not needing to fly for very long, like using sky scale, you can use this thing to get to the other side of whatever hills or cliffs you're trying to get completely fine without even need to fly, where other mounts will always go down. For example, if we use the Jackal, you will find the Jackal have this pause in air while teleport and then it go down. So it always will go down even with a single centimeter as long as it have endurance, but it will never go up even by a centimeter. And wait, again, that's not all, because the Warclaw doesn't take any falling damage. Go from a place that's very high like this one and fall, it's nothing, which is part of the mastery that we will go in a second. You don't take any falling damage and you just can keep moving and keep continuing, or with no stop, with no CC, with nothing more. And not only that, there is a way to replenish endurance to even make it more faster while you're moving and ride it in combat. So as you can see here, I'm moving, I'm using my endurance, but once I hit target, as you can see, it felt like half a bar. Again, 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 and again, and again. You keep resetting it too fast, and you can keep moving in a normal area in the open world very easily. There's nothing will compete to the speed, with the idea that you can keep replenish the endurance with simply hitting targets. Not only that, it's the only walking mount or land mount that can be ridden in combat. So for mounting in combat, I'm in combat, and as you can see, I can ride the mount, but it gives me this effect, Warclaw recharge increase. It says that it increases the cooldown for each stack by 10 seconds, and it lasts for 30 seconds, and every stack will come will reset the cooldown to 30 seconds, so it will not increase the cooldown, it's always 30 seconds, but each stack will give you 10 seconds extra. I didn't find the information like on wiki or anything, but I done the calculation myself, and I think the amount of time, like you get the first stack always inside combat, so it's become 15 seconds, something around that. So at the mid of this stack you can ride it again, and if you get another stack it will be increased to 25 seconds, so 10 and 10, and like there is always first 5 basically. So it's 25 seconds, so you can ride it again before it's even gone, and now it will be 35 seconds, so you will lose the entire stacks and you will still wait for like 5 seconds even outside of combat to ride your sky scale again. Mount and dismount as fast as I can, and then we do it again, and I should be able to mount even before that it actually disappear the stack on me, which why you can get 3 stacks but you can't actually even get 4 like at all, as you can see, and I dismount again. Now to show you what I'm talking about, I will kill all those mobs, I will get outside of combat, and as you can see I can't ride outside of combat because I still have those stacks of cooldown to actually ride the Warclaw. I'm still spamming the skill, and I still even can't while even the thing is gone, the effect is gone, because I have a longer cooldown by about 5 seconds or something like that. So this is a downside that no other mount have, because all mounts, even the sky scale, you can ride it in combat, no problem, on a very long cooldown, and the moment you're outside of combat, you can ride it again, because there is nothing that actually hold you down. So this is a downside to using the Warclaw, because at the moment you're outside of a combat, you can't ride it and you're gonna have to wait just few seconds sometimes. If you keep riding it multiple times, you can use another mount or you can simply wait for them. And that gets us to the masteries. As you can see, it doesn't take full damage, and the second one, it gives you the jump of air, but it costs some stamina, and the downward velocity, like the fall, more it keep falling down, like we said, if you're coming from a place that's high, it's even way better, because it will increase the jump height, and you can keep yourself in air for a very long distance and control the area you're trying to cut, which make you in short distance at least, you don't really need even sky scale. And you damage the enemies you dash through, and it will replenish your endurance, increase the damage while mounting the Warclaw. The spear skills will actually do the Defiance bar break, and regeneration for the endurance 20% more for all your mounts. So to summarize, it runs faster, it uses skill as good as possible, just like the Jackal, 3 endurance bar, it can replenish them better than any mount, because just hitting will actually give you endurance, and it can move through terrain better than any walking mount, because the air jump, and can be mounted in combat quite easily, very convenient, 90% of the time at least, but in some scenarios you will not be able to ride it and you just might go to another mount, like we explained how the debuff work. And lastly, keep in mind that this jump will always take you forward, and it take you a short distance. If it's from the land, it take you short distance comparing to something like the Springer, or even what's take you higher, which is the Sky Scale. If you actually fly with it, it will take you even higher and higher and higher, and you can use the endurance to even go a little bit higher just like that from the land. So it's not usable for simply climbing up. It will not take the role of the Sky Scale, which is the best at doing it, and I guess Springer that no one kinda use anymore for just a single jump that quite do it faster than even the Sky Scale. The other downside besides the buff or the debuff is basically that you use the dodge button to go forward and the jump button to do this jump, which means for repetitive mobility that you keep dashing again and again and again, you're gonna keep spamming this, especially that you can reset the endurance simply by going through enemy, as you can see. So use it again and again as more than any mount in the game. And this position is very weird. The only mount that can do this is probably the Sky Scale. It's the only one who have the dodge on a dodge, actually, not that the movement forward on the space bar. And there's not much you can do about it. Why? Because if you check the control for your mounts, you find ability 1 and ability 2, and there is nothing you can do about the other abilities. Why? Because the release on Bass of Fire, we only had a couple of skills. The engage skill and another skill if the mount had it. And this mobility was not considered an actual kind of skill. It was just like the jump. You press the space bar, it will work. But now you can press the CC or you can press the space bar to actually do it. And other mounts got too many skills added. The idea was that the Griffin was the only mount who truly had 2 skills because it had the climb and the dive down. But the game changed. So many years have passed and we now have something like the Sky Scale with an entire bar of skills that we can't truly control. And ArenaNet, since they added the air jump, they needed a jump button different than the dodge. So they put it on the jump button, and now to move or dash forward you need the dodge. For me, 2 days of playing the expansion in Gen Zero Wild, I already have a pain in my fingers that actually use it because the way I set my keybind, and it's shaking uncontrollably and I can't really play with it. So I hope ArenaNet would actually give us a normal control, just we can assign keys to every skill of those to have total control. This is an extremely archaic. This is Bass of Fire level. Unless I'm missing something, so please tell me in the comment if there's another way, because for me, even so, I think that the Warclaw is superior to almost any other movement mount on the land now, and probably will replace the main one I used to use, the Jackal. Even so, the Jackal will still be superior in the direction of the movement because the teleportation and how decisive the teleportation, and not care about any level of elevation, but still the Warclaw offer much more, so in most scenarios it will be the better choice to actually use on land, but I don't think I'll be able to use it unless I truly have to use it, because the way that it's very difficult on my hand to control it basically. So I hope I give us different control. Tell me what you think in the comment, and I hope this video was helpful, explaining everything in detail, the speed, and the movement, everything, and I'll be seeing you next time. Peace.